NBA free agency is presented by Manscaped. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. with you. When you head over to manscaped.com/chat, you get 20% off plus free shipping of all of their men's grooming products, including the amazing Lawnmower 4.0. We'll tell you more about that product later on in the show. So let's go ahead and do the updated NBA free agency tracker here and get you caught up on the latest moves in NBA free agency. Actually, you know what we're going to do? NBA free agency grades. I got confused there for a second. We're handing out grades. Chase, save me here.
Grades. We're doing grades. That's what we're doing.
Let's start with the
Harrison.
Atlanta Hawks. How are you feeling about this squad?
I like what Atlanta has done, continuing on the momentum that they were able to build last year when they surprised so many people with that deep run of the Eastern Conference playoffs, all led by Trae Young. And because of them re-signing Trae Young and retaining John Collins as well, they're going to be able to continue within this young core. And I think it's a dangerous core moving forward in the Eastern Conference. Trae Young gets that rookie max contract extension of 5 years, $207 million. John Collins, I think, 5 years, $125. Somewhat of a discount for me.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So hand out a grade for the Hawks. How are you feeling about this one with Lou Williams being that last addition as well?
Yeah, with the Hawks, I'll give them a B grade. I think everything that they've done is pretty solid. They didn't need to make any insane deals in NBA free agency. I think this is a roster that's in a really good spot with a lot of good pieces. I like Bogdanovich. I like Kevin Huerter. I like some of the other young pieces. Can Cam Reddish, who was really good against the Bucks in that Eastern Conference Finals matchup, continue to blossom? And, of course, Trae Young, John Collins, a part of that core as well.
We'll kind of sprint through these teams one by one. The Brooklyn Nets, you're going to go B+ here. Kind of brought back some cheap guys like Blake Griffin and Bruce Brown, obviously giving Kevin Durant that huge extension as well.
Just gave Kevin Durant a contract extension worth $198 million. I'm interested to see what the negotiations were like because he couldn't just go to Brooklyn and say, yo, $2 more million to make me be a part of the $200 million club. B+ for the Brooklyn Nets because of what they did in free agency. Absolutely loved the Patty Mills signing, 2 years, $12 million, but also really like what they did in the draft with Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharpe.
What we don't love is what Boston has done, which has basically been nothing. Enes Kanter, 1-year deal. There's rumors that Marcus Smart could get a 4-year extension. That may have happened by the time you watch this. We're going to go D on this one. Charlotte, next up. You're going to go A here.
Yeah, I really like what Charlotte has done. When you have a young special playmaker to the likes of LaMelo Ball, you have to really surround him with some solid talent. I like Ish Smith as a backup point guard. You lose Devontae Graham, but you drafted James Bouknight. Of course, that's in the NBA draft and in the NBA offseason, but that kind of helps me tinker with some of the grades here. And then Kelly Oubre, $13 million per season over the next 2 years. I think that's somewhat of a discount.
Another A, the Chicago Bulls, man, they've been busy. Lonzo Ball got things started. You get Alex Caruso, but you also get that sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan.
I'm worried about them defensively because I'm not sure they're going to be able to defend anybody. Yeah. And I know DeMar DeRozan is somewhat problematic offensively because he doesn't really shoot outside shots at all. And $28 million a year for a guy like DeMar DeRozan is a little bit high, but I give the Bulls for being aggressive in free agency, and I think they have a really solid roster, A grade.
I'd like to see DeMar run with that second unit some.
He could run point.
I think that I think you might see some of that. We'll see what Billy Donovan pulls off there. Cleveland Cavaliers, Jared Allen gets the bag. You're not a huge fan. C grade, just okay.
Just okay. I like Jared Allen, but they didn't do anything else to build upon that young core of Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley. The draft, round a B, maybe an A. Free agency, C.
Dallas Mavericks, they were busy on day one. It's been quiet since. B- grade. Depending on when you're watching this, Mark Cuban, Jason Kidd are going to fly to Slovenia to personally hand Luka Doncic his 5-year Supermax check.
Is it going to be worth more than Trae Young's? I think so, because I think Luka Doncic is the better player. B-, totally reasonable for me, because they brought in good complementary pieces around Luka. Tim Hardaway Jr., Boban Marjanovic, Sterling Brown, Reggie Bullock, all really solid deals.
Biggest free agency winner up to this point. Let us know down in the comments. Certainly there's still some names out there, but most of the big names are off of the market. So let us know who has been the biggest free agency winner so far. Denver Nuggets, you're going to go B here.
Yeah, nothing that'll blow you out of the water. Will Barton, JaMychal Green. I really like the Jeff Green contract. Only $5 million per season. Austin Rivers had a lot of success there in the playoffs. That's why we go B.
The Detroit Pistons, C+, not some decent value here. You got to manage expectations. This is a full rebuild around Cade Cunningham, but some competent NBA players around.
And these are competent players who are going to be able to play around Cade Cunningham. In the draft, gave him an A. Free agency, C+. Nothing really moves the needle.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk, 3 years, 37, kind of headlining what the Detroit Pistons have done there. I like Corey Joseph as a backup guard as well. We'll just have to wait and see what else they end up doing. We will go to the we'll keep this going here. How about this? Let's subscribe to Chat Sports. Hit that big red button, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Don't miss any of our coverage because myself and Chase Sr. will have you guys covered with the latest NBA news, rumors, and much more throughout free agency. Let's just skip this team, Jack. We'll come back to them. No big deal. Let's go to the next team. Got to fix a couple of graphics here. Golden State, B-, Chase.
Yeah, because I think they wanted to go star hunting, and I think a lot of fans wanted them to go star hunting. I think what they've done in free agency is round out the roster with a lot of veteran players. Otto Porter, Nemanja Bjelica, Andre Iguodala, solid players who I think will fit in nicely. Of course, I really like the reunion of Andre Iguodala going back to the Bay where he won 3 titles in the 2015 NBA Finals MVP.
And then Steph Curry gets a huge extension as well. The Houston Rockets, C+, thought you were generous here. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I love what they did in the draft
Yeah,
and free
great
agency,
draft.
not as much.
The Indiana Pacers, C+ as well. TJ McConnell's really kind of made himself into a solid player. I like the Torrey Craig deal. Pretty quiet otherwise.
I think you get good value with Torrey Craig coming over from the Suns, and TJ McConnell has been an awesome story, but they're not going to result in more wins for Indiana. That's why it's a C+.
The LA Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, bringing him back was critical. They have done that. And then they bring back 2 core players, Reggie Jackson and Nick Batum. You're going to go A here.
Going into today, probably a B, maybe even a B-. You re-sign Reggie Jackson, you get him at $11 million per season. I think that's incredible value for the player that he was in the playoffs last year. And then you're able to retain Kawhi Leonard. I think all of us felt as though Kawhi was going to go back to the Clippers, but until he made it official, we never know what the hell Kawhi Leonard is thinking. Good free agency for L.A.
They also add Justice Winslow. The other team in L.A., the Lakers, I mean, what can you say? A+. The amount of quality depth this team added with basically no money is very, very impressive. So, A+. Talk about this team for a minute.
You can shred them for being old all you want, but they made these moves for this year and this year alone. And if they even get to the NBA Finals, maybe even win another Larry O.B., which would be the franchise's 18th, it all worked out. Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard, Talen Horton-Tucker, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk. They went in, and I think they're going to show out next year.
Who's the better LA team as we sit right now? Type LAL for the Lakers, type LAC for the Los Angeles Clippers. Go ahead and get your votes in. LAL or LAC. By the way, love the Kendrick Nunn edition as well. Another great free agency coming up, the Miami Heat, Chase. They extend Jimmy Butler, they acquire Kyle Lowry, and they bring back Duncan Robinson. Oh, PJ Tucker's not bad either.
You could craft a free agency period and put it in a DNA lab for Pat Riley, and it would come out looking like this. Kyle Lowry, as well as Duncan Robinson, P.J. Tucker, Dwayne Dedmon, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent. They bring back Victor Oladipo. This team is going to be so tough. Didn't even mention Jimmy Butler to a max contract. Like the Lakers, back end of those deals, somewhat concerning. They're doing it for the next couple of years to be in that title contention window.
Memphis Grizzlies, D, because, well, they've done nothing except for they did trade for Grayson Allen. But other than that, Chase, it's been
traded away Grayson Allen.
Traded away to Grayson Allen,
and they haven't done anything else. There was that trade before NBA free agency when they kind of absorbed the contracts of Steven Adams. But, I liked Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah.
I thought he should have stayed on the team. I thought they should have kept him. They get a D.
You're really banking on internal growth.
Bledsoe stinks too.
You need internal growth in a major way if you're the Grizzlies. Milwaukee, B-. Not a lot of cap room to work with. I just mentioned Grayson Allen. He comes on board in a trade, but Bobby Portis, a key guy to bring back.
Yeah, Bobby Portis is a dog. I really like him, especially with the edge and the confidence that he gave the Bucks in the playoffs. Semi Ojeleye, we'll see if he can be better in Milwaukee than he was in Boston. And then Rodney Hood, George Hill, 2 other veteran signings.
Yeah, we'll keep it going here with the Pellies. Garrett Temple, Devontae Graham, okay, C+. I thought the Graham signing kind of helped salvage their free agency a little bit.
Yeah, who would you rather have, though, Lonzo Ball or Devontae Graham? If they didn't make the move for Devontae Graham,
Be an F.
I think the Pelicans would honestly get our only F grade. I think we're only giving out one F grade, I believe.
Yep.
If my memory serves me correctly, saved themselves a little bit by bringing in Graham.
Timberwolves with a D.
They didn't do anything.
They haven't done anything. It really comes down to, for them, what can we see out of this trio that hasn't really played together? And that, of course, is D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Karl Anthony Towns. This is a big year for them. If it doesn't work, I think you'll see a lot of movement on this roster. We go D here. If you love chat sports, if you love the NBA, well, it's the best of both worlds. Subscribe, hit that big red button because we cover the latest NBA news, rumors, free agency, trades. We are live for the NBA draft. We do it all. It's 100% free. All you got to do is subscribe right now. How about the New York Knicks, Chase? B+.
I really liked how they went about this process. They wanted to go star hunting, and they couldn't land any of those stars. So what did they do? They took the detour and retained a lot of their own talent, but also brought in players who I think can be solid additions to this roster that was a number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference last year. So Evan Fournier, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, Kemba Walker, Nerlens Noel. They also brought back Alec Burks. Julius Randle gets that 4-year, $117 million contract extension. I think it's important when you're trying to become relevant consistently to have some form of consistency within your organization, and when you extend some of your own, like Julius Randle, some of those other guys, I like the business aspect of that.
Yeah, I love what the Knicks did. Depth, only key loss, Reggie Bullock. I think overall they did pretty well. Oklahoma City Thunder, B-. Obviously choosing to keep SGA I think was the right move. I like Robin Lopez as a cheap big. Didn't do much otherwise.
Yeah, well, Lopez went to Orlando, but I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being retained by Oklahoma City. This is one of the best young players in the league. You get him at a discounted price compared to what Trae Young got, what Luka Doncic will probably get. All of those 3 players signing their rookie max contract extensions. 5 years, $172 for SGA, who continues to get better. Really, really good.
Yeah, so SGA, the headline there for the Thunder. The Orlando Magic, by the way, I got that mixed up.
Yeah, I got you. Lopez. That's
Robin
the only
Lopez
move.
heading to the Magic, so B- there. It's fine. The Magic are
good depth.
4 years away. I mean,
yeah.
It's going to be a long rebuild down there. Philadelphia, B- right now. I would type I for incomplete until we know what happens with Ben Simmons, but I like the Drummond and the Danny Green move overall.
Modern day NBA, you value shooting, and you got Furkan Korkmaz for $5 million per season. You got Danny Green, who has 3 rings and championship-level experience for $10 million per year. You get a good backup center in Andre Drummond for a cheap price, and Niang is better than any 4-man that they had last year.
Hey, the race is on. It
is on and popping.
A 76ers channel. We launched a Knicks channel. We'll flash both links down below. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs on both. Be prideful. Rep your team. If you're a Knicks fan, chatsports.com/KnicksTV. If you're a 76ers fan, head over to chatsports.com/76erstv. And Sixers getting close, Chase. The Knicks took a big lead about a week ago after the draft.
Let's go,
the Sixers making a run. Let's see which channel gets to 1,000 first. Phoenix Suns, B+. They bring back Chris Paul, and that's really the main deal here.
Yeah, 4 years, $120 for Chris Paul. It's going to be a lot on the back end, but again, if you're competing for championships over the next couple of years during that 4-year span, it's all worth it. Campaign as his backup. JaVale McGee, a monster upgrade behind DeAndre Ayton. Abdel Nader, just okay. And then you bring back Frank Kaminsky, who honestly in Game 6 was pretty solid. And I think because you have JaVale McGee and DeAndre Ayton, you're going to be able to play Kaminsky at his more natural position at the 4.
The Portland Trailblazers, yikes. F. Norm Powell's a nice player, but $90 million over 5 years is a lot to commit to. It's just, I don't know, man. I think Damian Lillard's going to be out of there.
It's just not good. Damian Lillard was crying out to ownership to get me some help, and they didn't get him any help at all. Norman Powell's a good player, not a great player, but you're paying him borderline great money. Cody Zeller is just okay. He's a depth piece. Tony Snell is what Tony Snell is. His three-point numbers were efficient last year, but the Trailblazers now, not any better than they were last year. I can make the argument maybe they're worse.
Will Damian Lillard leave Portland? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. I think he will. I think he's going to leave Portland. He's been loyal. He's given that franchise more than enough time. I just think it makes sense for both sides at this point to move on. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Sacramento, B-. Hey, I love the Rashawn Holmes signing.
They needed a big. That was the biggest need for the Kings going into NBA free agency. Able to kind of address that with Rashawn Holmes. I'd like to see a little bit more depth there. Holmes can be somewhat limited, but man, he's grown so much as an offensive player over the last couple of years, and defensively, he's always been a really good player since getting drafted out of Bowling Green.
The San Antonio Spurs, neither of us love the Doug McDermott signing. They also brought back Bryn Forbes, though, as well. Zach Collins, okay. C-, it's all right. They're at least a better shooting team now.
Yeah, a little bit. And they also brought back Bryn Forbes, too. So add him to the equation as well. So he goes back to San Antonio. That's where he was before the Milwaukee Bucks. So you're valuing shooting with McDermott. You're betting on upside with Collins. You're taking a chance on Jock Landale, who's had a lot of success down under, g'day mate, in Australia. So just an okay free agency period for the Spurs. Honestly, C-, I think, might be a little bit generous.
Toronto, obviously they move on from Kyle Lowry. As we're filming this on Friday, not 100% sure on what is returning in that move to get Lowry to Miami. So some of this info could change, which could affect their grade, depending on when you're watching this. Gary Trent Jr., you like that deal, though. It's much better than the Norm Powell signing.
Yeah, so it's the same average annual value as Norm Powell, but it's half the years and half the price, basically. I'd rather have Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, no doubt. Utah Jazz, B+. I think this is a team to be reckoned with next year.
Rudy Gay at $6 million per season, given his current scoring ability. I mean, that's excellent value, and I think a lot of teams have gotten good value in free agency up to this point. Hassan Whiteside, you clear a lot of salary by trading away Derek Favors, and basically you're not paying Hassan Whiteside anything. And by getting rid of Favors, you kind of clear yourself of getting into that luxury tax, and also you're able to pay Mike Conley.
Wizards, kind of a weird period. You trade Westbrook, obviously, before free agency. You get Dinwiddie, though. That's a nice little deal, isn't it? B?
Yeah, because you no longer have Russell Westbrook, so the star power for Washington is not the same. But I do think this roster a little bit more well-rounded, which I think fits better around Bradley Beal.
And we all know how much you love your boy Raul Neto there.
Oh,
bring him back.
Starting in a playoff game. That's a joke.
Grade your team's free agency up to this point, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know how you guys feel about your team up to this point in free agency.